Black Clover Chapter 328 is out in a while, guys. This might be the end of the road for Lucifero, possibly, but a part of me doesn't believe that this is it, and that is something that we will discuss later in the video. Now, in last chapter, Asta only had 5 seconds left in his Devil Union form, his true Devil Union form, and in typical anime fashion, a lot happened in 5 seconds in this chapter. Asta and Liba being in perfect unison created this ultimate warrior that Lucifero cannot counter, which is quite scary because we know that the scaling of this series is going to continue to rise because Lucifero, at the end of the day, is only at 50%. He's only halfway manifested. While on the other hand, we have Adramelic, the second gate devil, who showed no concern, no worry watching this entire fight, who's even denied Lucifero when he asked for help and has yet to make his move, which makes me believe that this 100% manifested Adramelic is stronger than this half manifested Lucifero. But with Black Clover Chapter 328, which is titled Always, you guys already know with every video I always find a way to tell you guys to subscribe to the channel with notification bells on and leave a like on the video because I just did it there. So let's get into this chapter review. The chapter starts off with Asta knowing that he has 5 seconds left to be in his Devil Union form, and we see how fast Asta is moving in this form, which shows us that there is a huge speed increase in true Devil Union form because in his previous form he was too slow to catch the fused twins. Before Asta can properly reach Lucifero, Lucifero starts to use his gravity magic, bringing up rocks to stop Asta in his place, which is something I've been waiting for because Lucifero does not use his gravity magic the way that I will want him to, or the way that Dante used the gravity magic. In terms of creativity, Lucifero has been more of a brawler, so I was finally happy to see him use the environment for his gravity magic to have an advantage. Although he's not fully manifested, so there may be a limit, a cap to what he's capable of with his gravity magic in this current state. Now, within this 5-second battle between Asta and Lucifero, Yuki's about to hit us with a flashback while this was happening. We get the reveal that Lucita told Liba that she had a son who would be the same age as Liba. The reason why she gave up Asta because if Asta stayed by her side, she would have been stealing his life force, which he would have died from that. She explains how she will never be able to hold Asta within her arms or ever see him again. Now, one important thing that confirmed with me in this flashback is that devils do not run off life energy. Lucita explained that if Asta would have stayed by her side, she would have been stealing his life force energy. Liba and Asta both have no mana, so that means that Liba was able to be around Lucita because she would not be able to steal the life force energy from a devil. But we do know that she's able to steal the mana from a devil because we saw that in Lucifero's case. Now, it's definitely true that mana dwells in life energy, but with Asta being the exception, this lets us know that since he has no mana, he can still exist with life energy, which means that they are two separate things. Now, this begs the question, how was Asta able to survive Zagre's underworld spell that steals life energy and magic, because we saw that with Yami? And possibly the case here is that Zagre's underworld spell is probably only effective to those who have magic, which then he can steal the life force and magic from them. But since Asta has no mana, the spell wouldn't work against Asta. So this means that since he has no body that's full of magic, the spell wouldn't work, which is the theory that Yuno came up with. And I know a lot of you guys are wondering, if Lucita had to give up Asta so she won't steal his life energy, then how is she able to have a baby to begin with? Who is Asta's father and where is he? We can theorize and speculate, but for right now, we don't know, and that's a different topic for a different day.
I guess we'll never know.
Now, back to the flashback, Lucita did say that today and always and forever she will always love Asta. And that is something that is extremely sad in this flashback because it's not like she had a choice to keep Asta. She had to get rid of him because she would have took his life away. And since we knew that Liba at this time knew that Lucita had another son out there, it made perfect sense for him to finally recognize that Asta is indeed Lucita's child. Now, Lucifero, on the other hand, finally remembers and recognizes who Asta is, knowing that there is a connection between him and Lucita. He realized that Asta is indeed her child. I believe that Lucifero was able to come to this conclusion because, of course, Asta does look like Lucita, and also because anti-magic is very similar to the way that Lucita's magic worked. And I believe that this battle reminds him of that because the only time Lucifero was vulnerable, where his magic was completely useless against someone, was during the time of Lucita. So I think that this battle reminds him of that, and I think he put 2 and 2 together and figured out, like, yeah, this is definitely a connection here. The fight continues in this 5-second span. He's ready to punch Asta, but Asta cuts another horn, targeting Lucifero's head, trying to end this fight quickly. Then he cuts Lucifero's arms, and I can only imagine that this fight, once the anime comes back, is gonna look like a Dragon Ball fight. This had to be extremely fast. After Asta cuts Lucifero's arm, he is completely armless at this point. There is nothing he can do. Asta now has the full advantage here. And as every panel you can see, Asta's Devil Union form is slowly disappearing, and I kind of like that detail. While Lucifero is completely defenseless here, Asta then goes in for the strike, letting him know that the only person that is worthless here is you. Now, when I saw this in this chapter, I thought that this was over. I thought this was going to be the final strike. Lucifero was going to look like a slice of pizza, then collapse, because that's usually the case when you get a slice with anti-magic. But Asta does another cut, finishing the job on Lucifero. Right on time of the 5 seconds were up, and he tells Lucifero, while you crawl on the ground, we will live and we will be happy. And that was the end of the chapter. Now, I would say that seeing Lucifero like this is rather disappointing. Now, of course, we all have to take into account that we did not see Asta slice Lucifero's heart, which is a common thing we see when every devil is defeated. However, the only time we have not seen this situation happen was with the fused twins. Asta sliced them completely open just like Lucifero, and then the next chapter we see the fused twins disintegrating. This is the only time Yuki Tabata has shown in a case where devils die without us seeing the heart get sliced. But maybe it's because they were minor villains at this time. They wasn't really that important to the story. They were more so just placeholders for Asta to showcase his Devil Union power. And with Lucifero being such a hyped up character with the lore of the story and being such an important character, way more than the fused twins, and it ending on a cliffhanger without us seeing the final moments of Lucifero, it's very possible potentially that Lucifero may not be done yet. Potentially, there could be a twist next chapter that I think I speak for a lot of us that we do not want this to be the final moments of Lucifero, especially in this arc right now. We know that devils can multiply parts of their bodies, and Lucifero being one of the kings of the underworld, it's possible that he has multiple hearts. And ever since this chapter, the popular theory is that Lucifero, one of his hearts is within Yami. We know that he told Yami is that he's going to save him for later. Yami and William were both connected to the tree of Cliffdog, so it's possible that Lucifero has used one of their bodies as reinsurance just in case if he lost because he's not fully manifested. So if he were to take over Yami's body next chapter, that's going to be very sad for everyone. But I think I say this for everyone, no one wants to see Lucifero take over someone's body and then lose again. However, the dangerous side about all of this is that Adramelic is still 100% fully manifested. He's fresh, he's been watching this entire thing, and everyone else is exhausted. Asta was their strongest asset at this moment because of anti-magic, but he can't go back into Devil Union. Adramelic can take advantage of this because all the captains are down, and we know that they are not strong enough on their own to fight against Lucifero, even together, before he even transforms. A lot can happen here. So I want to know your guys' opinions. Comment below and tell me how you felt about this chapter. Also, check out my other anime and manga content. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves. Stay blessed, and we're out.